let's get started. Welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures morning show. I am your host, Shay Canon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer with an exclusive clientele of six and seven-figure CEOs. However, I have a mission, and that mission includes you, small business owners and entrepreneurs who are spinning their wheels and struggling to get to their first six figures in business. I want to help you to make the money and create time freedom. That's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. I'll spare you the 5-year journey of doing so and just let you know I'm living my best life and working my best business in Mexico. Okay? So let's get into it because Blog Talk has been released. And so the topic of this week is the answers to 2024's biggest challenges facing small businesses, right? So we've talked about mitigating risk. We've talked about what my predictions are for 2024, where the data is in now, right? And so some of our larger names in the business industry have told us what we have to look forward to, not in 2022. Okay. So we weathered some storms in 2023. I said 2022, I meant 2024. We weathered some storms in 2023, but buckle up because 2024 won't start with smooth sailing. Okay. I've been doing the research on challenges facing small business owners that you're likely to face this year. And I have looked at data from top sources like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Forbes magazine, Inc. magazine, even more, right? And I combined it all into information that with I've been getting, I got my ear to these entrepreneurial streets, so I have some information too. Some of it comes from talking to you guys, but the goal is for us to surf the waves rather than to be crashed by them or crushed by them. The great thing is, I've been supporting small businesses with issues with articles since 2017. I think it was 2017. So I went through my catalog of value, and we've already talked about most of the situations that are answers to these things they're saying that we're going to face in 2024. So the first category of things, what the hell just happened? It just moved. All right. The first category of things are economic and financial challenges. Okay. Economic and financial challenges. The problem here is not just inflation that brought higher cost of goods and increased interest rates. The hit is much broader in impact, okay? So small businesses are predicted to have cash flow issues, okay? Lack of capital, strangled access to credit. That means it's going to be harder for you to get credit, harder for you to extend credit. That's both business and personal, okay? And if you have a product-based business or you deal with a supply chain at all, there are going to be disruptions. All of this on top of declining profits, okay? So add these issues to the fact that a lot of small business owners don't know how to manage their personal finances well. So I know you're not managing your business finances well, okay? So none of that is good. However, I went through the whole catalog of value we have already talked about, already been through, and guess what? I found 9 blogs, 9 articles to help you to combat economic and financial challenges, okay? The first one is revenue versus profit, making the money, okay? The next one is 5 ways to quick start profitability in your small business. The true cost of service-based business, unleashing profit within your first 6 figures, revenue strategies for hard economic times. That's a good one. We did that one at the top of the recession. How to get more revenue without high ticket. Okay. The problem with your pricing, where to find money to grow your business, and the topic we just talked about last week, which is non-monetary currencies you can spend to grow your business. Okay. So 9 different blog posts going on that you can go to help you combat economic and financial challenges. All righty. So the questions I have, and you can answer any one of these questions, right? Because I want to know when it comes to the economic and financial problems, I want to know which one you're willing to share so we can try to go on and knock that thing out, right? So here are some examples of some questions that may prompt something for you, right? We only got Heather and Dewana here in the studio with us this morning. So if you're following along on Facebook, use the comments and tell me what issues are you having that are economic and financial challenges. Now, here are some questions that might make you think. How has inflation impacted your pricing strategy and customer acquisition? Can you share your expenses in securing credit or funding and how this has affected your business growth? Okay. In light of rising interest rates, what financial adjustments have you had to make in your business plan? Right? We don't really have product-based businesses, so I'm gonna skip the ones about supply chain. But rising costs and limited access to capital are major roadblocks. How are you optimizing your finances and finding creative ways to fund growth? Okay. Have you had to adjust your pricing or service offerings in response to inflation? Are you utilizing any financial tools or resources to manage cash flow and keep your business afloat? Okay. So I see your wheels turning, Heather. Did any of those questions prompt you to think of something that you are willing to share along the lines of economic and financial challenges in your business right now?
Yeah, so 2023 was really, really, I feel like 2023 started difficult and remained difficult on a number of levels, personally and professionally. But it's a little ironic that you're talking about this right now because I actually feel like 2024 has gotten off to a really good start for me. And so now what I'm trying to do is figure out, okay, this is going well. How do I keep that momentum to keep the cash flow coming and even increase it, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So I didn't have a chance to check out your articles yet, but I'm like looking at the titles and I feel like the true cost of service-based business is definitely going to be an article I want to read. The problem with your pricing and how to get more revenue without high ticket.
Yes.
Those are the three that really, when I was looking at the list, those are the three that really stuck out to me that could potentially have an impact on how I'm thinking about things and where to go.
Most definitely. Love it. Love it. Thank you for that, Heather. Dewana, do you want to come off the mic and share what are some economic and financial challenges you don't mind sharing? And did any of those questions prompt you to think of something that you didn't mind sharing?
Well, really 2023 was not horrible. I was on a kind of a roller coaster because of some of the other challenges that I went through just personally in life. So 2023 was not bad, but 2024 is kind of getting off to a rough start. And what I have noticed, especially just in the past couple of weeks, just yesterday going to the store, is that the inflation is really still a challenge, and it's still kind of hit me a little hard in the pocket. So I am just working to kind of stay afloat, keep all the balls in the air at this point. So I haven't. And I'm wondering if I am going to have, I literally just said yesterday, I'm going to have to adjust my prices to mitigate the inflation. But in terms of getting new clients, I don't think so yet, because I've actually gotten some new contracts. So I'm just kind of floating along. I'm just kind of floating along, right? Not really floating, but again, just holding on to all the reins and saying, okay, it's a little rough, but there's just turbulence. So hold on, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this because some of what you do is meal prep, and you are directly impacted by inflation in the price of food. So have you
Absolutely.
adjusted your pricing to absorb some of that?
No, and that's what I was just saying as I was going through the store yesterday. I was saying I'm going to have to increase my prices in the next few weeks. So that'll be something that I'm going to have to put out to my customers and let them know this is what's happening. Because
Yeah.
at first I was seeing the prices going down, but now, yesterday I went and saw, I said, no, we're still in some inflationary times here.
Yeah, it's almost like a second wave
It
is
is.
kind of
It
what you're
truly
saying, right?
is.
It
Yep.
kind of reminds me of COVID, how the big wave came and then it was like these ripples and after effects and aftershocks. I feel like we're there. And I knew that the first part of 2024 was going to be about sustainability and not growth, right? But yeah, I mean, let me tell you. So for me, as a fractional chief operating officer, my service is very high ticket. Like it ain't just high ticket, it's very high ticket, right? And so a lot of my clients were not able to grow or maintain during 2023. So around the beginning of 2023, I saw a lot of my fractional COO clients fall off. Because as a person that's over operations, I'm not over their business growth. I'm over the operation, that's going to be there with or without their business growth, right? So with them not being able to grow their business and bring in as much money, I'm the highest priced person on everybody's team, right? So when it comes to who do you let go, it's going to have to be me, even though some of them didn't want to. But at the end of the day, I do strategy, I do leadership, I do planning, I do oversight, monitoring, and maximizing, but I'm not an executor, right? And you need your executors in your business. Um, so what I had to do was I found myself at a time where, I hadn't felt that way in a long time, where, if the people I had left didn't pay their invoices, I would be in trouble, right? So I immediately had to start taking extra projects, right? Because I do look at my business as an ATM, right? You need more money, you need to use your skill set and go out there and create a package that somebody will buy and bring in the money, right? And so I started doing that. I started doing special projects for varying price ranges depending on what it was, right? And then I started to diversify. That's when you guys saw me starting to transition more into my coaching, right? It was about more than the morning show and more than just being here with you guys and doing hot seats. It was about, oh, we need structured programs. Let's go to the framework. How do I give y'all the same framework that I work with my 6 and 7 figure CEOs that I use to grow my own business? How do I put that framework to work to where I can give it to you guys to help you get to your first 6 figures? So it's crazy because I don't know a business that has been untouched. I don't know one. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any because there are businesses that flourish in hard economic times. I'm saying I don't personally know any that are doing, that weren't impacted and affected. So, just to do a recap, what we're talking about is this week we're talking about the answers to 2024's biggest challenges facing small businesses. We've talked about mitigating risk. We've talked about what my predictions were for 2024. Well, now all of the data is in from 2023. And so all of the big wigs are now saying that we are going to have some challenges in 2024 as small businesses. The first one we talked about today were economic and financial challenges. And so, what we've been doing, Kimberly and Glow, is we've been asking the question, what economic and financial challenges have you had in your business that you're willing to share? Because the answer to some of this stuff, we already have blogs and we've already had conversations about, right? So while you're thinking of some challenges you'll be willing to share, let me go back over some of the past blogs that have answered this, right? So we have revenue versus profit, making the money, 5 ways to quick start profitability in your small business, the true cost of service-based business, unleashing profit within your first 6 figures, revenue strategies for hard economic times, how to get more revenue without high ticket, the problem with your pricing, where to find money to grow your business, and last but not least, what we just talked about last week, non-monetary currencies you can spend for your business growth. So with that said, Kimberly, if you can come off the mic, that would be great. If not, you can put it in the comments. What financial and economic challenges are you facing in your business right now? Oh, you can come off the mic. Come on then, Kim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So the biggest challenge for me right now, financially and economically, is supply chain. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm product-based business,
Yep.
I'm having a hard time getting like ingredients for my products, and then I have a manufacturer that makes one of my products, and like dealing with them and their price increases, and then their lead times. I'm having a hard time with that, and then because I'm having a hard time with that financially, it's taking away from any monies that I'm able to that I thought I was going to be able to spend on marketing and advertising, because that's where I really wanted to go into 24, not worrying about the product itself, but just
Mhm.
getting the product out there and the advertising. So now I'm going back to the I don't know if you call it organic, but just going back down to the basics, the simple basics, because financially I can't really afford the what I wanted to be able to do yet, this year so far. If that makes sense. I don't know.
It does. It makes all the sense in the world. And it's crazy because not only that, but some of your suppliers are also feeling the hit, right? People are
Mm.
ordering less. And so another thing that they're doing, Kimberly, that you have to watch out for is they're raising their minimums, right?
Yes,
To
they
push
are.
you to buy more. And if you don't do the minimum, then you're paying like god awful prices. If you
Exactly.
don't hit that minimum. So that's another thing that they're doing. We as you guys know, Dr. Joffrey has a supplement line, and we have encountered to where we used to get one minimum quantity, and now they've all but doubled it. Okay.
Mm.
So that's a lot, right? And with things slowing down and us not selling as much, you guys with products, you have to you have to be careful with if you have products that expire,
Mhm.
right? Um, if you have products that are time sensitive, that in any kind of way, because now you're gonna be holding them. Do you have products that are hard to store and keep them like new? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, ooh, it's
that's been a big one, especially the last quarter of the year for me. That's been a big one. My sales went down for the holiday.
yeah.
Um, Outside of that, it's just, I mean, I have some stock right now, but
Mhm.
even trying to get more in, it's just been hard. So,
So
yeah,
now it's time for you to diversify your suppliers, right?
yeah.
So you might have to go and find some of the smaller suppliers to see if you can, build new partnerships, build backup partnerships,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, you can't have just one supplier for everything that you need anymore.
That's true. Yes. Yep.
Yep. Most definitely. So Glow, you said some of the economic and financial challenges you've already been facing is low ticket and building revenue. And the second to the last one, you said, "Girl, come off the mic, Glow, and tell us what you're talking about." Because I'm very interested. I wish Tracy was on here because you and Tracy were, I think, the last to come out of corporate or having a job to go full time into entrepreneurship. So I'm very interested to hear what economic and financial challenges that you're having. So are you available to come off the mic, Glow? All right. No, she said she can't. She coconut pulling. Okay, you got stuff in your mouth. Okay. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. Well, Auntie Shaky, first of all, congratulations. You had one of your highest earning months all of 2023 last month. Congratulations. But even though you may not feel the economic and financial hardships, my question for you is, have you felt that it's getting harder and harder to make the sale? Auntie Shaq,
Oh,
look, I'm sorry to the man. I don't know that man. I don't understand being a financial struggle.
I'm
Oh,
I'm pausing only because um my confession and what I've always said is that my clients are high net worth individuals,
mhm,
and that started manifesting the last quarter of the year.
mhm.
And so because of that, because my actual who I was speaking to changed, my answer is no, it wasn't harder because these people were looking for me and they have the money to do what they need to do. So I don't want to say that I'm not saying it in an insensitive way. Like, I
No.
understand that there's challenges
I
that
mean, we've
people,
already talked about the fact at the top of the show that there are businesses that are indeed making money right now, right?
oh,
Now I said I didn't know any. Hell, I forgot about you. Uh, now, one thing I will say though is you have two avenues for people to make money with insurance: to buy and to sell. Right now is the perfect time for you to get more agents in because where they're working right now ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. Like we talked about at the top of the morning show, you know, inflation is real. The cost of goods is real. You know, access to credit being hard to get and having cash flow issues, all of those things are real. So I feel like it's time for you to start pushing them pain points.
yeah,
That little ass side hustle ain't it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's probably time. So yeah, most definitely. I will say that on my coaching side, because I diversified, I don't feel it as much as when I had only my service side. Um, because if you're in the business of helping other people to make money, you're gonna make money in hard economic times, right? So I remember when the pandemic hit, I made the most money. And then when the recession hit at the beginning, I was already deciding to transition to coaching, but I hadn't set it up yet like it's set up now. And so I was losing money on that service side. But yeah, I need you guys to go to the blog post. It's at shaycannon.com/answers. Because of course we're talking about answers to 2024's biggest challenges facing small businesses. Again, I've been blogging since 2017. I've been giving information and dealing with businesses, large and small, since 2017. And so there are already answers to all of these challenges that these people have gone back to 2023 and gotten data for and saying this is what we're dealing with. No need in talking about new stuff. The answers are already there. So there are 9 blog posts to help you guys with economic and financial challenges. Now, does anybody have anything they want to come off the mic and say about economic and financial challenges? I know I asked you guys to share what's been happening. We've been kind of talking about solutions and answers, but is there anything else anybody wants to say about it? Heather, you look like you want to say something.
No, I think that people are just I think that people have gotten so used to higher prices for everything that we're forgetting that that's not really normal, right? Like what like this is the backlash of pandemic, right? Like we're still dealing with the effects of that. And even though eggs are no longer $5 a dozen, like going to the grocery store and buying just your regular things that you need for the week is still double what you would have paid a couple of years ago, right? Like let's just say that.
Yeah.
And that impacts every other aspect. So if you're dealing with product I guess it doesn't matter. But unlike, for Shaky with her, higher echelon earner audience, which it doesn't surprise me that you're making more money, Shaky, because you're in front of the people who you need to be in front of, right? So when you're in front of that audience, like, of course it makes more money. That makes sense. But I do think that for the rest of us, who are trying to get into the point where we are always in front of exactly the right audience, like we have to take that into account. For me, it has made me look at my pricing, which is why that article about pricing is of interest to me. So, I
love it. So feel free to read those blog posts, Heather, and come back with questions tomorrow if you have some. Another way that it's been affecting me, because you guys know I don't
just
live in the
something
United States.
that
Uh-oh. Who was trying to talk? Somebody got
regular
broke up.
folks.
Was that you, Heather, breaking up? Oh, okay. So one of the other ways that it affects me is because the United States is in inflation, the value of the dollar is going down, right? So whereas my lifestyle is that I bring in the US dollar and I spend it out in pesos, which supposed to mean it's a win for me. Um, the conversion rate is usually 20 pesos to one US dollar. That conversion rate today is $16.88 for one US dollar. So that means that whereas I used to save paying my rent in pesos, right? I'm paying a little bit more these days, right? Paying a little bit more for everything because the conversion rate is sucky right now. So that's another thing to think about. Like, what are you getting for your money right now? Cool beans. So, two announcements. If you are in the productivity membership, we have a work session today from 12 to 4. Also, the whole community, we have our movie club night on Thursday. So don't forget to watch the movie. I actually have time set aside on Wednesday to watch it. Don't forget, what is the name of the movie, Jesus? Help us, Lord. It is
Maxine's baby.
Yes, the Tyler Perry story. And so it's available on Amazon is where I know you can get it. And so don't forget to watch that. Take good notes. On Thursday night, we're going to talk about it. So bring your drink of choice as we spit out the business lessons that we have learned from the movie. So don't forget, Shaky, watch the movie first. Take your notes, then come, right? Cool beans. All right. So those were the two things for today, and that's all the announcements that I have, except for also don't forget that I am out next week. I have international travel and a business conference. Tomorrow, there will be a post out that is a poll for you to vote on which rewind you want to see next week. So there will be a rewind of whichever morning show you vote as the one you want to see the rewind of. So we have in the past we've done a rewind of Psychology of Sales. This Christmas holiday season, we did a rewind of the Chat GPT training. So I gave you three more that I know that was top rated morning shows for you guys to choose from. And so I will set that up to roll out next week. So that is all I really have. I'm about to get back in here and finish. Oh, happy MLK Day. You know, the dream is real. Continue to live it. But also today at some point, I will be releasing the inaugural issue of the quarterly CEO digital magazine. I'm excited about it. I've been working on it all weekend. Truth be told, I ain't been asleep yet. That's why I'm looking crazy. So that will be coming out today, and I'm excited about it. So, you guys, anybody have any questions before we get out of here? Because we got plenty of time. We got like 12 whole minutes.
I I do have a question. And I guess this is really for everybody. Um, what what like mindset exercises or because I know we talk a lot about practical stuff, but like what mindset stuff or what like how do we talk to ourselves during times of economic unsurety during, because some of the things that I hear a lot of people say is everybody is doing this, and oftentimes when we start talking like that and we think that everybody around us is experiencing the same thing, then that also includes our clients. And so that means that how can you even have it in your mind that somebody is even out there to be able to pay you if everybody is going through what you're going through? So I just want to make sure that the way we're thinking and the way we're speaking is lining up with what we want, not with what we see.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That kind of reminded me of Christianity, right? Like, don't be of the world. But yes, so for me, what I do is I keep my eye on moving the needle of the goals, right? What I know is that any adversity has opportunity in it. So, what do you now have the opportunity to do? Some of y'all, if you're not servicing as many clients, you have now have the opportunity to go back and get your foundation straight, right? So that when those gates open back up, you can run. You don't have to walk. Um, for me, I have really gotten really clear on what I need to do, and therefore I have a list of things that I, as soon as I get a moment, I'm checking on, right? Because if you did the organic marketing workshop, what you know is there's a lot of work to do with tofu. Some of that is SEO, so you could be working on SEO right now. Y'all could be getting your funnels up, all the good stuff that if you were too busy servicing clients, you wouldn't have the time to do, right? Start creating those SOPs, start deciding who your first team member or your next team member is going to be, start laying the foundation for them, all of those things. So again, in adversity comes opportunity. And I don't know, I was built hella tough, so adversity doesn't bother me. I'm just going to find a way. And so it doesn't bother me. So even if I think that I'm impacted and my clients are going to be impacted, I'm going to come up out of it. Like I'm gonna pray for everybody. But yeah, I'm going to find a way. For me, it's a matter of knowing how to go get your money. Even when it's not the way that you want your brand to get money, even if it's not the way that if you were in better times, you would want to earn the money, I'm gonna go get my money, right? So at the top of the morning show, one of the things I said was when my service side started to decrease in revenue, I went out and found special projects, right? And what I did was I just made sure that they were limited time special projects so that as my business picked up back up, I'm not stuck doing things I don't want to do, right? So again, your business is an ATM. It's not like a job. At a job, you got to go ask for a raise. You got to go ask for extra hours to work, all of these things. With a business, you just can do what you need to do to get the money. And I want to remind you that how you make money is sometimes different than what your brand is. So just because you're making money doing something, don't mean you need to now make it a part of your brand. It doesn't have to be, right?
Mm.
So yeah.
Since 2023 was so hard for me personally and professionally, what I have found since doing Shay's 2 workshops, both the 90-day content plan and the organic, is that it has provided me with a roadmap for consistency. And so being consistent, it's one of those like slow and steady wins the race kind of a thing, right? So being consistent also provides me for what I need internally, the structure that makes me feel like I'm standing on firm ground. And so that allows me then to be consistent. It's like a cycle, right? It feeds itself. So that's the only thing that, like, that's what's, plus, 2024, goodness, we're only on day 15 and I'm like, could the rest of the year go this awesome? Like it's been amazing so far.
Yep. Yep. I'm loving the growth I'm already feeling, right? Now that I have the right focus and know what strategies to do with that organic marketing and the food fighters or whatever, it's like the I started reaping benefits immediately, right? So it went from I know this could work and let me share it to oh shit, it's working, And so yeah, there's like a lot that that needs to be cleaned up, that could be more of a well-oiled machine. It's crazy. It used Oh shit, I'm sorry, y'all. That's a video. But I used to put videos on YouTube and it took all day to get 5 views. I put one on this morning at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. It's already got 10 views. And it's only been up 4 hours, right? Why? Because I learned about SEO and how important the title is and all of these things and putting the description in and using keywords and key phrases, long tail and short tail, all the things that you were taught in the workshop, right? And so again, that stuff works. And so it's just amazing. So just don't forget that whether you were in the organic marketing workshop or not, just know this sales thing is a money game. A money game, sorry. Well, we know it's a money game. It's a numbers game, Okay. You have to have a lot of new people coming into the know of you, because all of the people that you know, when you whittle down to those that'll buy, is going to be a lower number. So the more people you get in front of, the more sales are going to come out of that number. So that's how you're going to survive. How are you going to get in front of more people? Period. So one of the things that's been working for me lately is not just SEO, but jumping into other people's groups and giving value. And when I say value, I mean value. They immediately start to follow me and then get in our group where they can get more value, right? One of the things that let them know to get in my group is I need y'all to start looking at your timeline, right? I mean, I love that you travel. I love what you ate and all of that kind of stuff. But if you got more of that on your timeline than how people can follow you and get value so they can build like, know, and trust, that's a problem. That is a problem, right? So they get on my timeline, they're going to immediately see a post that says, get in my group, get more value. This is the value we talked about today. I know you need this, get in the group, right? Every day. What you wanted to add, Kimberly?
That's what I was going to ask you. So, like, because like I do these little videos just about things in general on my personal page, but I'm trying to figure out how to like pivot the content a little bit to be more around, you know, my product based business, because that's really right now, that's really where I'm focusing. You know, and so I don't know how to make that transition. Like I started because when you just said that you started getting it, I noticed that, like, I'm in the TSP, the free TSP group. I noticed that you posted in there recently, and there was another group. I want to say it was like, it was a group that I didn't even know that we were both in. But so I just didn't know. That's where I'm like trying to figure out how to, because I mean, when I tell you guys, like, I'm having a hard time right now. So I'm trying to really figure it out. You know, I've battled like clinical depression before, so I'm trying not to let this slump, you know, get to me. And so I'm trying to figure out, because I did a post yesterday or the day before about like who are you partnering with, who are you doing business with? Because I literally got the stick a couple of times, you know, from a couple of people last year that just like did some things. So I don't know how to take my personal, because I have a lot of followers on my personal, but I want to be able to build it around my brand, and I don't know how to do that. Like I don't know how to make that transition in what I'm talking about. I don't know if that makes.
So I think so, but this is what I'm going to address. Um, I don't know if you're looking for like something that's supposed to be the bridge, but you don't need a bridge. Whenever you change your message, you change who's paying attention to your message. So just get started talking.
Okay.
There doesn't have to be this transition. Just start talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I fed this group and this community without having asked, right? I ain't asked for nothing. I just coached, because my coaching program wasn't really off the ground for real, right? There weren't really coaching options. If you asked me, I was like, yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
was focused on that service side. So when I started asking, I mean, people just either they bought or they didn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just get started. Now,
Started.
one thing I will say is, if you need help with like what content to put out there, that is definitely something that Shawana could help with.
Yeah.
What I know is I don't want to just be doing videos that catch attention, but have nothing to do with my expertise. So that's why I'm taking my time to figure out TikTok or whatever, because I don't want to just sit up there and play with a fucking filter and then now you follow me because the filter was cute, but then you're not a business owner. That ain't cute to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to do that. Now I gotta work even harder, and now you follow me to try to convert you. I don't want it. Right?
Right.
I would rather find fun ways to still talk about business so that you know who I am and how I help. It was just a fun way that you found out that I know how to do business. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I prefer. So, for example, for you, there got to be a million pictures on the internet of funky, ugly feet. You know what I'm saying? I will
Yeah.
post one a day, even if I ain't never changed the caption and all I changed was the picture. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, once you start searching one or two, they're gonna start coming to you every day. That's how I get the memes. I don't even have to look for memes and stuff anymore. They come to me.
Yeah. That's true. Okay. I get it. And I'm
So
supposed to
that's
be,
why, but the crazy thing is, that's why the next workshop in February is gonna be about stopping the scroll. Because now that y'all know who you need to be doing who content for and where you need to be doing it, and you know what you should be expecting from it, now you need to know how to get the attention.
right. Okay.
So, yep,
Thank you.
of course, of course.